Good morning, good morning. Peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. Today is Tuesday, March the 25th, 2025. And as the title says, Attorney General Pam Bondi sends a warning to Jasmine Crockett. And man, this is crazy because I'm going to tell you something. We all know we've been covering the whole situation with Elon Musk being targeted. They've been blowing them up at blowing up the charger stations. They've been doing all type of crazy things with Elon Musk, and not even going to the charger stations and the dealerships, putting graffiti everywhere, throwing Molotov cocktail bombs into dealerships, even had people shooting at the dealerships. But they also targeted people driving down the street in Teslas, keying them up, scratching them up. Somebody park, hop out, go in the department store, come back, and they Tesla on 4 flats. It's been crazy, right? This is a result of what Elon Musk has been uncovering with Doge, right? Because they finding all this wasteful spending, fraud, and abuse. So with that being said, they send these operatives, Democrat shields, like a Jasmine Crockett, to, crash out on their behalf. And man, this lady came out here and said something crazy. Knowing that Elon Musk, basically life is on the line, being targeted by these radical groups of people that are trying to destroy his company, she comes out here and says that she, on her birthday, which is March the 29th, that she wants somebody to take him down, or she wants him for her birthday. It's just crazy that she would even say something like that, knowing what this man been dealing with. And we've said that rhetoric in the media is very, very, very critical, and they got to be very careful how the mainstream media, and for Jasmine Crockett to be a congresswoman, to speak like that, and then try to clean it up later on, like, oh, well, I don't need being violence, is very, just, what's the word I'm looking for, man? Irresponsible. And then, Pam Bondi came back and was like, hold fast, you better tread lightly. So with that being said, I want to share this to show y'all exactly what Jasmine Crockett had to say. Let me get this together for you. I'm going to blow it up a little bit more. Listen to this.
Here's Jasmine Crockett, U.S. representative. I mean, again, these are members of Congress who are actively attempting to foment some of the worst action against an electric vehicle company.
I'm going to keep screaming in the halls of Congress. I just need y'all to make sure that y'all keep screaming in the streets. I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with, on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Wow. Let's run that back a little bit more.
Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Elon to be taken down. Hold on. One more time.
On my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Wow.
That's all she wants on her birthday, is see Elon taken down. These people there's something sick about this. Truly, truly sick.
I'm telling you, man. That's sickening. That's sickening. Knowing that this man is being targeted, people blowing, literally shooting at his dealerships. And that's what you choose to come out and say on your birthday. You have influence out here. So when she did that, Of course, a lot of people were blown away. Like, are you serious? But they send these people out on a crash out mission. They get paid to do what they do in position. Like I said, Jasmine Crockett salary is what, $175,000 a year, somewhere in there. But she's worth $9 million. So a lot of that fraud that Elon Musk has been uncovering, maybe she has something to do with reaping the benefits. Because how do you have a six-figure salary but you're worth multi-millions? Maybe some of that fraud that Doge is finding out was coming into your pockets. I'm just saying. But with that being said, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, gave Jasmine Crockett a stiff warning to tread carefully. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about a few other things before she get to Jasmine Crockett. Well, let's go.
Joining me now, the woman herself in your Sunday Morning Futures exclusive, Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. AG, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Maria. Happy Sunday.
And to you. Let me start with those flights to Venezuela. What can you tell us about Judge Boasberg's ruling and whether or not the Supreme Court is going to get involved here?
Oh, the Supreme Court will get involved. This is an out of control judge, a federal judge trying to control our entire foreign policy, and he cannot do it. You know, he dragged us into court on a Saturday without any notice, and then he's continuing these hearings. He's trying to ask us about national security.
Now, this is crazy. This is what she's talking about is when Trump was sending the illegal immigrants off to El Salvador. Because, frankly, the Venezuelans that they were planes full of Venezuelans. Venezuela won't take their own people back. Trump trying to send them back to Venezuela. Venezuela like, nah, we don't want them. Y'all keep them. So he like, all right, I'm going to figure somewhere to send these people. And he worked it out with El Salvador. These are the people that are the ones that's committing the heinous crimes in America that are illegal immigrants. Sending them overseas while they overseas over the water on their way to El Salvador. Some federal judge just calls in an order on a Saturday. Hold up, stop the presses, turn that around, turn them planes around overseas, bring these illegal immigrants back to America. You can't make this stuff up. Where does a judge try to even think they have the gall or the audacity to go up against the president as it relates to foreign policy? It's crazy.
Information, which he is absolutely not entitled to. We are appealing. We will be in court Monday. Again, we will win. We will prevail. There are 261.
Okay, so this because this is multiple, but this the judge that put the order in. You know what I'm saying? Appointed by who else? Barack Obama. All these judges that's been appointed by Barack Obama have been trying to get Trump hell on every decision he made, especially as it pertains to illegal immigrants getting up out the country. Coincidence? I don't think so.
One reasons why Americans are safer today, and that's because those people are now in an El Salvador prison. And we are going to follow the law, and we are going to protect Americans. You know, there's a reason why Biden's approval rating was plummeting because of the border. There's a reason why the current Democrats' approval rating is at 29%. People want to be safe. This is President Trump's agenda to keep Americans safe, Maria. It's basic public safety. Get these people out of our country as fast as we can. They're not immigrants. They're illegal aliens who are committing the most violent crimes you can imagine on Americans. Murder, rapes. Ask the parents of all of these young women who have been violently strangled, raped, and murdered. And we are going to continue to make America safe again because that's President Trump's agenda.
Yeah, and we're going to talk with the NYPD commissioner in a few minutes, Jessica Tisch, and I'm going to ask her about the
Yeah, if you look to that screen to the right, that's when they arrived in El Salvador. I mean, to me, that's a declaration of war. Venezuela is talking about they don't want to take their citizens back that's been over here committing crimes. Like, nah, you can't send them here. What you mean I can't send them here? Y'all sent them to us. Now you don't want to take your own citizens back? That's a declaration of war, if you ask me. But Trump said, all right, cool. I worked it out with El Salvador. But just look to the right as you're listening to this. They ain't playing in El Salvador, man. Who the hell want to go to this prison?
migrant arrests being down, and whether or not it's a complete, impact from the president taking these people out of the city. Does this mean, though, that we've stopped shipping people out of the country as we await for resolution here from the Judge Boasberg ruling?
Well, we're continuing with the legal process, but we're also.
Man, look at this. Man, look at that. Like they got these dudes, man. Like they dragging in some dirty laundry or something to the laundromat. That's how look how they grabbing these dudes up. Man, they ain't playing in El Salvador.
Also continuing to arrest people. We're not going to stop arresting these violent criminals. You know, the Alien Enemies Act applies today really more than ever. You know, old law.
Man, they shaving their heads. They doing all type of unnecessary shit. Who want to be in El Salvador at this spot? Hey, man, if I was an illegal immigrant in America right now, I would be self-deporting. Y'all ain't got to send me to El Salvador, none of that. I'm about to go to Mexico, somewhere. I'm not going there, though. It's like, what the hell? This looks crazy.
Law is often the best law. If you think about how the laws that have been on the books for a very long time, we are in modern day warfare. They have invaded our country, TDA, Tren de Agua. They are organized. They have a command structure. They are sending money to each other throughout the country and out of the country back to support their terrorist actions. It's modern day warfare, and we are going to continue to fight that and protect American citizens every single step of the way.
The last time we spoke, AG, you said in the next year, in a couple of years, we will not have what's called a sanctuary city. Are you getting resistance from these cities who say, no, we are a sanctuary for illegals?
This is a secret of the used car market, but many people still don't know it. For years, the car care industry has made.
Well, sure we are, and we're going to continue to pull their funding. We're going to continue to sue them, and they're going to come around. They're going to have to, because the federal government is going to step in and do the jobs of these cities and states who are refusing to protect their own citizens. I truly cannot comprehend how these states, how these governors want to protect criminals over the rights of their own citizens.
I don't get it either, man. I don't get it either, man. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man. I seen this, hold on. There we go. Let me get the right screen. I seen that those mayors, those 4 mayors went down there to talk to Congress and try to explain themselves as a result of a lawsuit. We streamed that. I've been covering it, for the longest time, with the sanctuary cities. And like she just said, it baffles me that I never thought we would live in a time where people are prioritizing illegal immigrants over the taxpaying citizens. And people are capping for that. Like, come on, man. You think we go anywhere in the world and be an illegal immigrant and they gon' step on their shoes to give it to you? But we do that, you know, we capping for these people. Oh, they came from this and they can't, man. Listen, these people came over here knowing they came over here illegally. They had a decision to stay where they was at or come over here illegally, or go about it the right way and come over here the proper way. So my level of feeling sorry for them, you especially the adults, grown adults, I don't have too much of an ounce of sympathy for you because you knew what the hell you was doing coming over here. Now, when it's time to go back, you going back home. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you going to jail unless you one of them people they sent over to El Salvador. You know what I'm saying? Well, they over here committing murders and unalivings and grapes and all that type of stuff. So, you know, you gotta pick your battles, man. If you came over here the wrong way and you get popped off, you can't get mad, man. I can just come with the gang, man.
These are violent criminals. Crime was through the roof. And now with Donald Trump, it's going to plummet because we're going to get them off the streets if the state governments aren't. So yes, we're going to continue to fight that every step of the way. We will win.
What about these vandals on Tesla vehicles and dealerships? Give us the consequences there. And what are you learning once they're arrested? Why are they doing this?
Well, you know, we're looking at so much on this. There have been 3 federal charges so far, and I say so far. We are looking at all of these cases across the country. We have a dedicated task force. These are not isolated incidents, as you know, and these aren't vandals. These are Molotov cocktails. You know, that could be a weapon of mass destruction that they're throwing in Tesla dealerships, that they're lighting these Tesla charging stations on fire that are in residential neighborhoods. I mean, it could cause tremendous damages. And people need to know the 3 people in custody right now, they will receive severe and swift consequences, and they are facing up to 20 years in prison. We are not negotiating these. We are not coming off these charges. We are looking at everything, especially if this is a concerted effort. This is domestic terrorism. And Maria, now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attack.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now this is where we get to the good part. Hold on, let me back it up a little bit.
Concerted effort. This is domestic terrorism. And Maria, now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. Yet she turns and says, oh, I'm not calling for violence. Well, she is an elected public official. And so she needs to tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon Musk. And we're going to fight to protect all of the Tesla owners throughout this country, and it's this basic safety. Once again, domestic terrorism is going to come to a stop in our country.
Well, it's just extraordinary to me that you've got this resistance coming back. We saw the resistance in President Trump's first term, but then after that massive win in November where he won the popular vote in all the swing states, and yet now the judicial part of the branches are getting involved. Are you surprised by these judges? Not just Boasberg, we've got 3 others complaining about no.
But yeah, we get the gist of that, but I want to run that back again so we can get, let me see, yeah, but she said, we got this Congress lady Crockett
on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. Yet she turns and says, oh, I'm not calling for violence. Well, she is an elected public official. And so she needs to tread very carefully.
Hey, now you heard it. You heard it. You heard it right there. She better tread very carefully. But see, that is crazy though. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you be an elected official knowing the temperature of the country right now, that this man is under attack, and you think it's just you gonna say something like spew rhetoric like that irresponsibly, and you're not gonna get some type of pushback? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Pam Bondi was right. You need to cool that off, man. It's already enough going on. We don't need nobody putting no more sparks on the flame. You feel me? And yeah, Jasmine Crockett is just one of those ones that they use, for their agenda. And then she had a rebuttal. Jasmine Crockett, we give everybody their chance to, say their piece. So let's get with that. MSNBC.
New today, a direct message from Attorney General Pam Bondi to a sitting member of Congress for comments about Elon Musk. Let's take a listen.
Now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. And yet she turns and says, oh, I'm not calling for violence. Well, she is an elected public official. And so she needs to tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon Musk. And we're going to fight to protect all of the Tesla owners throughout this country, and it's this basic safety.
Joining me now is Texas Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, vice-ranking member on the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform and ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. Congresswoman, pardon me. It's always good to see you, my friend. And I'm going to say, I was looking at you on the monitor while you were listening to Pam Bondi. You seem to be not fazed at all. The Attorney General there,
see that? You see how she just put the cables on her? You don't seem to be fazed at all. You know what I'm saying? Just threw some cable, threw some gasoline on the fire. You know what I'm saying? She need to be fazed. You out here talking about take him down on my birthday? Man.
though, is telling you to tread carefully. I'm curious your response, and have some of these protests at Tesla dealerships gone too far?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to say that I participated in a Tesla takedown. That is the name of the website. And it was all about this large protest that they're calling for. And this is a nonviolent protest that they're calling.
Why are you trying to take this man company down? Tesla takedown. What do this man car got to do with anything to do with what he doing with Doge, finding wasteful spending? What is the purpose of this? A nonviolent protest. See, all they want to do is try to cripple your finances when you go against the status quo. There's no need to try to take down Tesla. What is that going to do? He's not going to stop doing what he's doing with Doge. That's clear. The man got so many different companies. Even if he lose Tesla, which he won't, the man is almost a trillionaire. Y'all just basically fanning the flames of domestic terrorism and causing havoc in the streets of America, because a lot of people own Tesla. A lot of people work for Tesla. Somebody's going to get hurt, ma'am. You're a congresswoman. And you putting the citizens at risk by even participating in something like this.
Calling for it. And in fact, when I was on there, which is why the Attorney General had to say that I wasn't calling for violence, and it's ridiculous that I even have to say something like that, but because they are.
It's only ridiculous because what you said was ridiculous. Tesla takedown. You know what's been happening. You know for a fact that people have been throwing Molotov cocktail bombs at dealerships, vandalizing people's property. This is ridiculous. That you even said that somebody addressing you is ridiculous. Let's continue.
Trying to twist our words. One of the things that I told people to do is make sure you are adhering to the laws in your area, make sure you know what it looks like to protest and to be able to raise your voices and to exercise your constitutional right to free speech. And what we see is that they want to dull our free speech rights. They want to make sure that those that are participating in the press, because we saw that there have been recent attacks specifically on this news organization, they want y'all to kind of tamp down what you say and hopefully buy into the lies instead of going out there and just telling the truth. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see that Elon Musk, that his money as it relates to Tesla, well, Tesla's tanking right now. And I'm okay.
Wow. So you happy of seeing this man? She said it out of her own mouth. You happy to see this man losing money? You a hater. Y'all a bunch of haters, man. That's y'all whole end game. And you just admitted it on national television. If this lady don't see that they're using her as a political pawn, it's amazing to me that people even subscribes to this nonsense. You just admitted on national television that your whole aim is to try to cripple this man's finances. For what? Because of what he's doing with Doge? Why don't you address the taxpayers' money being misappropriated by the trillions of dollars for frivolous reasons, clearly money laundering? Why don't y'all address what he's uncovering? They won't ever do it.
Okay with that. So just in case the slow people listening decide to clip this up later, I just want to say that I have never promoted violence whatsoever, yet I've also never made excuse for those violent actors such as the ones on January 6th. So Pam Bondi, if you have an issue with terrorism, maybe you should talk to your boss about locking back up those guys that he let out that participated in January 6th.
Apples and oranges. Every time these Democrat shields want to talk about domestic terrorism, they want to bring up January 6th. I don't want to hear nothing about no January 6th. Because this is an ongoing thing throughout the whole United States at this point. The vandalism that's been going on. But see, that's deflection. January 6th don't have nothing to do with nothing in this conversation. But see, they throw that to deflect from the fact that they are she's indirectly encouraging terrorism. Because these people are unhinged. Clearly, you should be like, listen, that's over with. Whatever he doing. We going about our business, he going about his business. But you continue in this rhetoric and you're being used. Clearly as day.
When Pam Bondi, though, says, tread carefully.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and background play. So you can watch.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. All it means is that she's attempting to get me to say, oh, I'm going to be scared and I'm just not going to say anything, because they are willing to literally break the law. I mean, that's what we've seen them do. They are ignoring court orders. They are ignoring what our own laws are. When we look at things such as impoundment, things like that, this entire administration is rogue. And this isn't about partisanship. I keep trying to tell people that we are living in the time of good versus evil, right versus wrong. And right now, when we are looking at the black letter of the law and they are deciding, I'm just going to ignore it, then they are wrong. That is clear as day. And right now, they are going after anyone who decides that they will challenge them, whether it's the judges that are sitting on the benches, whether it is lawyers that have decided that they were going to represent their clients to the best of their ability, and most of them won against Trump and his administration. Basically, they are trying to get rid of all voices of dissent.
Man, screw them judges. Ain't no way a judge gonna tell the president that's getting rid of violent, illegal criminals to turn a plane around and bring them back for what? And release them back on the street so they can commit more crimes? Did you just skip over all of that? Conveniently skip over the fact that these people are documented committed crimes, heinous crimes, rapes, unalivings. But you want to sit here and say that a judge is supposed to make that call over an executive order? And that's against the law? These people delusional.
Okay, well, let's pick up on right versus wrong, because a new memo from the Trump administration in part directs the heads of the Justice and Homeland Security departments to seek sanctions against attorneys and law firms who engage in frivolous, unreasonable, and vexatious litigation. I've never used the word vexatious, but there you go, against the United States, or in matters that come before federal agencies. And I remind viewers, you are a trained lawyer. So in your legal expertise, is this memo by President Trump legal?
I mean, listen, he can write as many memos as he wants to write. I mean, a memo is just a memo. But as it relates to the guidance that they are trying to lay out for the Department of Justice, again, this is them going rogue. We already have provisions that lay out when someone should be able to go after someone and determine that they are vexatious or determine that they are bringing frivolous lawsuits, and therefore there should be sanctions. That's normal. I mean, listen, I've got plenty of crazies that love to sue. So I completely understand it. I completely agree with it. And ultimately, it is up to the judge to determine. But here's the thing. The Trump administration is losing. There are over 100 cases going on right now. And what we see is that we've got people like Attorney General James in New York that is winning. So what did he do in retaliation? He decided that he wanted to strip her of her security clearance. Same thing with Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg was the one that was able to end up making this president a felon by having the audacity to go forward on these 34 felony cases that now he is convicted of. And ultimately he was convicted by a jury, and he had the opportunity to have terrible lawyers. He's always had terrible lawyers that lose their bar card.
She didn't even answer the question, man. I'm you know what? I'm done. In a nutshell, what we have here is obvious deflection. And for Jasmine Crockett to sit up here and try to explain away the fact that the president is mandated to remove these threats to society by any means necessary, and for you to try to justify trying to take down an American citizen that has an American car company that employs hundreds of thousands of American citizens under the act of we just trying to destroy his wealth. Make that make sense. You're being used and abused, and when they get done with you, they're going to dispose of you. You know, and that's the reality of the situation. But hey, what say you? Drop it in the comment section. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. We love y'all. Until we see you soon, you have a great rest of your day. Peace and blessings, everybody. One love.